Hi, I'm Mike Drodis, author of Waiting for the Rapture. I'm reading chapter 1. No! Shrieked the evil spirit. The sound reverberated off the walls of the evil throne room, causing all who heard it to cringe in fear. What's wrong, Master? Asked a subordinate demon. Satan turned to the unnamed demon and screeched, At this very moment, the United States has opened its embassy up in Jerusalem, and Cyrus has declared that Jerusalem is the eternal capital of Israel. The Prince of Darkness paced back and forth in front of his demonic throne, muttering to himself, This is not good. No, not good at all. This may cause him to come back and set up his kingdom. I can't let this happen, muttered Satan. Sitting on his throne, he surveyed the court of the damned and slowly tapped his bony fingers on the arm of his bloody throne, and he thought, The former archangel was no longer the majestic being he had been before. He and his followers were expelled from heaven by God. Even his name had been changed from Lucifer to Satan, and his kingdom rule was over the atmosphere of the earth as prince of the power of the air. His wings were no longer expansive and alive with shimmering color and majestic features. Rather, the bony structure of his wings was covered in a thin, pale membrane. The rest of his body was coated in greenish, gray, scaly skin, and his green eyes and pitch-black pupils pierced through his bony face. The gold crown he wore on his head and the scepter that he carried were a faint resemblance of his former stature and position. Oh, how the mighty have fallen! His throne room, as prince of the power of the air, was located above the ancient city of Pergamus. His new residence was a poor imitation of God's throne room. It was a hideous place and reeked of the smell of burning flesh. Skulls embedded the black walls, harbored candles that illuminated the vast hall. The black obsidian floor stained with blood. The throne itself was made of black pearls, and before the throne, as far as the eye could see, stood rows of damned humans chained to the floor. These souls were the representation of Satan's trophies, doomed forever to stand before the throne, forced to give pseudo-praise and worship to him. The human trophies were both famous and infamous individuals who, down through the ages, had made a deal with the devil. Some have been entertainers, some athletes, some politicians or businessmen. Others were scientists, and some were religious leaders. They were all the great men and women who, through the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, or the pride of life, were willing to sell their souls for a few minutes of fame and fortune or power. They had willingly and knowingly had given away their souls to Satan. His only obligation to the terms of their contract was to give each one a part of his kingdom for a time. Like shooting stars, each grew in fame and fortune, riding high on life. Then Satan's cat and mouse games with their existence brought them crashing down when he pulled the rug out from under them by nullifying the contracts. Sadly, they all died tragically. A fatal accident, a drug overdose, murder, suicide, and various other forms of violent death. They were forever bound in chains before the throne of Satan, destined to give praise to the one who had made their dreams come true for a time. Their once beautiful lives have become a living nightmare. Satan was livid as he paced the floor back and forth in his pseudo-throne room. This was not the time to draw on his demonic powers to take on a human or angelic appearance, nor even to promote himself as an angel of light. His kingdom was threatened, and he needed to take action before it was too late. I can't believe it really happened, he shrieked. At the court of the damned? What happened, master? Asked a subordinate demon cowering in the corner. Satan squinted at the demon. How pathetic he has become, he thought, shaking his head. To think this angel, who once walked tall and majestic, now cringes in the corner? Satan ignored his minion while he continued to pace back and forth across the room. He was puzzled and confused. How could this happen? Questioned the Prince of Darkness to his silent subjects. Satan knew he had to maintain composure, despite the frightful events that had transpired. He sat down on his throne and surveyed his court. Satan drummed his fingers on the arm of his throne for a few minutes and then screeched to the nameless subordinate, "Summon my generals at once." "Yes, sir." "What should I tell them is the reason? Why are they being summoned?" Satan sneered. "Tell them that it is time. He is coming back to end our reign and set up his kingdom." The subordinate demon shivered. "You mean?" "Yes," interrupted Satan. "I believe the Son of God is getting ready to return to the earth. Now summon my generals. Tell them to meet me at the jaws of hell." The demon shuddered again. "Why there, master? You experienced a great defeat there by the risen Son of God." "I know that, fool," shouted Satan. "Just do what I say. Tell them to be there in 6 hours. And stop there for today. Thanks for watching.